Germany has called on Russia and Ukraine to begin work on the next phase of the Minsk peace deal, aimed at stopping the fighting in eastern Ukraine. German Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier urged both Moscow and Kiev to, quote, seize the central issue of the implementation of the next phase of the Minsk agreement. The next stage foresees humanitarian access, reconstruction, and preparation for local elections in the areas under the control of the pro-Russians. Steinmeier praised the withdrawal of heavy weapons from the conflict zone. On Monday, the German minister is expected to host his Ukrainian, Russian, and French counterparts to study the implementation of the Minsk Accords. The outcome of the Berlin talks will be discussed at a meeting of the G7 foreign ministers in Germany later this week. Joining us now from Washington via Skype is Rustem Safronov. He's with the Sputnik News Agency. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV, Mr. Safronov. Now, first of all, do you think it's a bit too early to call for the implementation of the next phase, considering the first phase by itself is still so shaky?
I'm finding that quite unrealistic. I guess just diplomats doing what they're supposed to do, trying to move a peaceful process ahead. But if we're talking about reality in the ground, it's quite grim. The shooting basically didn't stop one day. It doesn't escalate to the point how it used to be when full-scale war was raging on. But it's still very bad situation, humanitarian disasters, and no any possibility so far predict any good solution in foreseeable future. Especially to talking about elections over there and preparation for that, it is for now absolutely unrealistic.
Well, speaking of election, I'd like to pick up on that point. Why do you think it's unrealistic? There are some who say until and unless the issue of the autonomy of these areas in eastern Ukraine is not settled based on the will of the Ukrainians, elections should not be held.
Well, the mood in Donbas region, basically around the people, do not come back under umbrella of the current Kiev government. Yes, if Ukraine will change dramatically and the government not going to be so nationalistic and so pro-Western, maybe some sort of confederation is possible. But now, just because of amount of the victims and ferocity of the civil war, people don't really want that, and especially they don't want to deal with somebody who would be loyal to Kiev. So Kiev doesn't want to recognize locally elected leaders. They want elections made in the framework of Ukrainian law. And I don't think republics, self-proclaimed Donetsk and Lugansk Republic, is going to abide. And plus, with considering current situation and amount of tensions which exist, it seems very unrealistic perspective.
But Mr. Safronov, considering right now the government that is in place is very nationalistic, is of the nature that it is right now, what can be done to go from this phase to the next phase?
I would say right now the best solution would be maintain the status quo and try to continue a process of negotiation. That's the maximum what you can do under that circumstances to avoid the war. Because right now, by the information from that region, it just seems both parties are preparing for a full-scale war still and using that just that truce as a time to catch the breath. And very soon the war could start again all over.
Well, that is a rather bleak analysis there, but we'll have to leave it there. That's Rustem Safronov with Sputnik News Agency joining us via Skype from Washington. It's always a pleasure having you with us here on Press TV, sir.